we're going to lock down our borders in Ontario for the first time in recent memory.
I guess it's that time of year again, just like last year. Oh God. Well, it's been a year since we've been going through all this craziness. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in Greenland, seeing everything starting to close down, seeing it all from a distance, but never thought it would hit us in Greenland so quickly before I could come back to Canada, or even my family back home in Canada, how quickly it really, I guess, hit them. And as we all know, slowly things started to shut down and get worse. When I got back to Canada, we were in that lockdown, but we all had the thought we'd get back to normal reality. Well, we all know how that went. It's been over a year now, and we're in a third lockdown here in Ontario, and it's not getting easier. And it got me reflecting a lot on this last year. How have we coped? How hard it's been? And what have been those little things that have brought us joy and given us the energy to keep pushing on during these difficult times? It's been a year that I think has been challenging for everyone. For me, it's been a year full of ups and downs. It's been a year full of emotions. There's been days where I feel motivated. I feel ready to attack the world. But then there's days that I just feel horrible. I feel like I don't want to get out of bed. I don't have any motivation to do stuff. I don't have any motivation to make these videos. But I guess the reality of it is we just have to work with what we have. Be adaptable, be agile in that sense, and try our best to really focus on the positive things. I think from the beginning, it's really been important for me to think about what are those things day to day I can control? What are those things that can bring me joy? For me, something I've loved doing while I'm driving is listening to a podcast. Oh man, podcasts have been an amazing escape for me, an opportunity to learn a lot. But then just to, I think, get out of the house too. Often I'm also gonna stop at my favorite coffee shop where they have a takeout window. Being able to drive, get out of the house, to even support somewhere local. I mean, these businesses are going through a hard time, and supporting local is something that we can even do safely to make sure that our favorite businesses and stuff are still there after this pandemic, which we're gonna go to now. Okay, well, we drove to one of my favorite spots to get away during these lockdowns and stuff. Here we are at my favorite, CC's Corner Coffee and Curios. Let's go get a coffee. Okay, mask on. Time to get a nice little flat white. This is the best spot to come and get one of those. It's close by to my house, so we're not going too far, but look at this. They got the awesome little takeout window. That's Cam right there, the owner. And yeah, let's get a nice coffee. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Oh man, you guys make the best one. Okay, Samira, the legendary barista, maker of beautiful flat whites.
Hello.
So what has brought you joy, or what are the little things that brought you joy during this weird lockdown period that we're still in this last year?
Well, to be honest, definitely like still being able to work during this time is like sort of been a blessing, because I definitely know a lot of people are out of jobs, or like my sister's a hairdresser. She's been out for like, I don't know, like 8 months or something. So like definitely working, talking to customers has been huge. Working out, like staying active as much as possible, because it's so easy to just like binge watch a show and sit down all day.
I feel like we all still do that.
Yeah, I managed to squeeze both in. And then also like I'm a painter, so on my days off I love to like block out a few hours to just like, you know, go grab a coffee somewhere else that's not at CC's, and like just like walk, go get art supplies, go home, just like paint, and also just like trying to have conversation, like some sort of conversation with someone throughout the day. I don't know, it helps a lot.
Yeah, well, thank you guys at
Yeah,
CC's
of course.
for providing the best coffee.
Thank you.
Guys, okay, the coffee was amazing, but a look at those gray clouds. I better get home before it starts to downpour and keep going with the day. For me, these gym sessions are amazing. It really gets your head cleared. Now I can talk about what's brought me joy, but I think the beauty of all this is there's such a variety of things that bring people joy during these times. So I thought maybe I'll call up some of my friends and see what brought them joy during this weird year.
Okay, if it's not good though, can you make sure, like,
I got you.
don't put this part in, I'll be so mad.
Miles Hanks in the house. Let's
man.
go. Hey.
Camille Masagi's here. Vancouver's very
I
own.
got nervous.
Oh my god.
Yo. Oh, I can't hear you.
Hi.
Okay, so the question for today.
Yes.
What's something that's brought you joy this year that like has helped you get through the weird year that we are, especially now that we're in a third lockdown?
I think like even in isolation or being separated from everyone in your life, just maintaining contact. And I find that like even with some of my friends, I talk more to them now than I did before the pandemic. Or like two of my best friends, they probably talk to each other several times a day, like just like even for like 3-minute conversations, but just maintaining those relationships, and even while isolated and in separation, strengthening those relationships has been a real source of joy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different year for everyone, I think, and everyone's challenges are unique. I think actually, like, this is the longest time that I've gone without seeing my parents, which is a pretty interesting one. Which means that, like, I think I've had to really learn how to, like, better communicate with, like, my parents, but also just like my loved ones in general. When you have like this expectation of being able to see the people that you love so often, I guess like you can kind of take it for granted in a way, you know, like I would kind of do the thing where I'm like, do I really need to call my mom every week? Because like I'm going to see her at Thanksgiving, or I'll see her at Christmas or Easter, right? Like there's all those holidays. I don't know. The year has kind of like made me really value the importance of like, just like keeping in touch with the people that I love beyond just like what is expected of me. Does that make sense?
As cheesy as this is, music. I've grown up in a very musical family, you know, from playing the piano to being in vocal classes and such. I think that music is a very, very powerful tool. You know, when I'm really happy, I'm blasting like Pop Smoke, I'm blasting that like, you know, some good tunes. And if I'm feeling a little bit more down, you know, something a bit more calming. But I've actually read this quote before, and I'm gonna butcher it, but it comes from the Baha'i faith, and it says that music is a ladder for our souls. And I totally like, that is something that I live by. With whatever I do, I always try to, you know, incorporate some sort of musical aspect or component into it.
And do you think that's had like an impact on yourself that has been different than the past? Like obviously we know it's important, like okay, we should do that one up, but like how has that like helped you kind of get through this year in a sense?
I think it's just a change in perspective more than anything. Like I think it's really taught me to just like not take the important relationships in my life for granted, and just like really, really value like the people that are part of my life and the people that I care about. How you do it, like calling, texting, whatever, like that part is, you know, just semantics. But like, I think just the mentality of like thinking actively about that. Because I know like for myself, I've historically been someone who like can be pretty detached from stuff. Like I'll kind of put it off and be like, oh, I'll see them eventually, or like I'll hang out with them later, and like not really put the work into maintaining friendships. But now that like you can't see people, you're not actively in a space where like you'll be able to spend time, you need to really like put in effort, which I think just made me value like my relationships a lot more.
I think it basically forced us to go on pause, and then any connection we mindfully wanted, we would have to consciously seek it out and engage with it rather than subconsciously be around it. So everything became a lot more conscious. So I feel that with the relationships in our life, those relationships became more deep and meaningful because we're actively engaging with it rather than just being in a space and having someone's presence there.
Yeah, and obviously the tests are greater, like I think during COVID for everyone, and this is something like everyone like on different levels is dealing with, but then it's about like how are we dealing with the situation that we're in, and I think a lot of people, right, has like been drawn to the sense of community. Like even the early days in the pandemic, just seeing like how neighbors and everyone were coming together was such a like a different thing. Like I was just noticing in my neighborhood, conversation online around mutual support was something that was not there before, and it was really a unifying.
There's like this unsaid sense of community, an unsaid sense of we're all going through this together, even though it may look different for ourselves and our neighbors.
From the time that I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4, my grandfather has always said, and he's always, you know, used one of my middle names, Bedriya. He would always, you know, send voice memos, or if he comes by, he'll say, Bedriya, like find joy in the little things. And over the course of the pandemic, like that has been, you know, motivation. That has been something that like I think I think people, you know, forget to do.
There's that camaraderie almost, and that we're all in this together. We can all help each other. We can all receive help from one another. And I feel like there's just this level of humility that everyone has now to a greater extent, that we are all in this together. There is no you and me. It's we. Oh my gosh, everything I'm saying is so cheesy.
That was so cheesy. Well, guys, I hope some of these reflections were useful to you. I know it was useful to me. I think even just making a video like this allows me to reflect on some of these ideas I've been thinking about the last year, and just how crazy it has been. It's really nice to just think about these little things that bring you joy. And for me, especially going into this 3rd lockdown, and you know, we may have more to come, it's valuable for myself to remember, and I hope it brings you guys value too. I think I'd love to hear your guys' reflections on this too. What are those little things that have brought you guys joy during this crazy year that we've been living in? I'd love to gain inspiration from you guys, but I'm sure the other people watching this, it would be nice for them to also hear your thoughts. So please put your comments related below, because everyone would love to hear from you. So again, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out with the algorithm and more people seeing this video. Subscribe and put on the bell notification for more of these videos to come. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. How does it look?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that 3rd lockdown quarantine haircut. See you later.